Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Tasliman kathiran kathira. Amma ba'du. And the title of this is the question of rizq, ordained or obtained. Shaytan's aim is obvious. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ash-shaytanu ya'idukum al-faqra wa ya'murukum bil-fahsha. Wallahu ya'idukum maghfiratan minhu wa fadla. Wallahu wasi'un alim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Shaitan threatens you with poverty and orders you to commit fahsha, shameless deeds. Whereas Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises you forgiveness from Himself and bounty, and Allah is all sufficient for His creatures' needs, and He is the all-knower. He knows what we need and He has the power to give us what we need. As I mentioned to you, fahsha, shamelessness, is not restricted to physical shamelessness, how you dress and so on and so forth. Shame, it is highly shameful to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knowingly, clearly, and knowing that what He told us, and we do the opposite. So if you are borrowing on interest, if you are buying and selling things which are haram, this is the ultimate of shamelessness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Ibrahim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقَالَ الشَّيْطَانُ لَمَّا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَدَكُمْ وَعَدَ الْحَقِّ وَوَعَدْتُكُمْ فَأَخْلَفْتُكُمْ وَمَا كَانَ لِيَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْ سُلْطَانٍ إِلَّا أَنْ دَعَوْتُكُمْ فَاسْتَجَبْتُمْ لِي فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ مَا أَنَا بِمُصْرِخِيكُمْ وَمَا أَنْتُمْ بِمُصْرِخِيِّ إِنِّي كَفَرْتُ بِمَا أَشْرَكْتُمُونِي مِنْ قَبْلِ إِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. Shaitan will say on the day of judgment, when the matter has been decided, when the decree for Jahannam has been given, verily Allah promised you a promise of truth. And I too promised you, but I betrayed you. I had no authority over you, except that I called you and you responded to me. So do not blame me, blame yourself. فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Send lanat on yourself. I cannot help you, nor can you help me. I deny my former act I deny your former act in associating me as a partner with Allah by obeying me in the life of the world. Remember, when we obey Shaitan, this is shirk, because we are obeying Shaitan instead of obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are making partners. Verily, there is a painful torment for the zalimun. My brothers and sisters, rizq, provision, both its plenty and its shortage are tests. And how we behave in plenty or in shortage determines our future. When somebody went to Imam Shafi rahmatullahi, and they said that you say that the one who disobeys Allah will be punished. But we see that people who disobey Allah, they are getting more and more. They are disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala openly. They are doing all kinds of haram, but they are becoming wealthier, they are becoming more powerful, and they are able to do various things. So how is this true? Imam Shafi rahmatullahi recited this ayat of Surah Al-An'am. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ فَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ أَبْوَابَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ حَتَّى إِذَا فَرِحُوا بِمَا أُوتُوا أَخَذْنَاهُمْ بَغْتَةً فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْلِسُونَ فَقُطِعَ دَابِرُ الْقَوْمِ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, so when they forgot the warning with which they had been reminded, when they forgot the warning, so they were told, do not do shirk, do not commit zina, do not oppress people, do not be zalim, do not borrow money on interest, and do not indulge in haram, whatever. That they ignored all this. So when they forgot the warning with which they had been reminded, what did Allah immediately catch them? No, Allah said, we opened to them the gates of every pleasant thing. So they got now more and more of what they wanted. Until in the midst of the enjoyment of that which they were given, all of a sudden, we took them to punishment. All of a sudden, they were grabbed and they were punishment. We took them to punishment, and lo, they were plunged into destruction with deep regret and sorrows. So the roots of the people who did wrong were cut off. And all praise and thanks be to Allah, the Rabbul Alameen, the Rabb of all that exists. Now, brothers and sisters, we don't have to look very far. Read history. See what has become of those who at one time thought that they ruled the world. Where is Alexander the so-called great? Where is Julius Caesar the so-called great? Caesar has become the name of the name of the king is Caesar. That was his personal name. Where is Genghis Khan, the man who ruled the largest land empire ever in the world? Where are all the kings and queens? What happened to all their power and what happened to all their wealth? Where will you be and where will I be? Think about this. And what does Allah do? So Imam Shafi Rahmatullah alayhi, when they asked him this question, he recited these two ayat and he said that when you see somebody disobeying Allah, when you see somebody indulging in haram, deliberately, knowingly, that person is indulging in haram, know that the azab of Allah, and you see that that person's wealth is increasing, then know that the azab of Allah has already begun on that person. Somebody is borrowing on interest and their business is increasing. Somebody is selling haram stuff and their business is increasing. Somebody is doing haram stuff, somebody is oppressing and their kingdom is increasing and their power and influence is increasing. Whatever the case might be, Imam Shafi Rahmatullah said, know that the azab of Allah, the punishment of Allah has already started because the doors of hidayah, of guidance have been shut for them. And Allah has opened the doors of every pleasant thing of this world for them. And then one day suddenly they will be grabbed in the midst of their enjoyment and they will despair because they will not even be given the opportunity and the chance to make istighfar and tawbah. Straight to Jahannam. Let's understand this. Let's not get carried away like the people who saw Qarun and they saw him go out in his in a great procession with great pomp and splendor. Those who were people of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned all these ayat in the Quran. Those who were hankering after the dunya, they said, oh, we wish we were like Qarun. Oh, we wish that Allah had given us like Qarun. And then when Qarun was sunk into the earth and they saw his ending, then they said, oh my God, this is what happened. Let's not become like people of Qarun who get dazzled by the show and pomp and splendor of what we see in the world. So and so has power, so and so has got private jets, so and so has got this fancy car, so and so has got $1 million, $1 billion house. La hawla quwwata illa billah. They have all of this, but not one of them can control a sneeze. If they need to sneeze, they cannot stop it. If they want to sneeze, they cannot bring it up. They cannot control what's in their own bowels. When they got to go, they got to go. They can't stop it and they can't bring it on. They can't control a breath that they take. If they get COVID or for some reason, they have respiratory failure, they cannot bring it back. I can give you endless examples. I don't need to because I'm sure you're intelligent enough to find out the examples yourself. Let us not get dazzled by all this. Hold on to the straight and narrow path. That is Sirat al-Mustaqim. The path of steadfastness. The path of Sabat. The path of Istiqamat. Which goes to Jannah. Only one road goes to Jannah. Every road does not go to Jannah. And that road which goes to Jannah is the road of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, I told you about the test of plenty. Now, if you are tested with little, supposing you are in debt or supposing you don't have debt, then we should not have debt. But if you do have debt for whatever reason, even if it's debt without interest, it's still debt. Or if we don't have debt, but we have straitened circumstances, financial difficulties, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, give sadaqah. He said, give charity. So first and foremost, do that. Give charity. And secondly, this dua which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us, and this is in Tirmidhi. Allahumma kfini bihalalika an haramik wa aghnini bifadlika amman siwak. Allahumma kfini bihalalika an haramik wa aghnini بِفَضْلِكَ أَمَّنْ سِوَاكَ. O Allah, suffice me with what you have allowed instead of what you have forbidden, and make me independent of all others except you, besides you. And this is in Tirmidhi. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us this. Now, final question. If all of this is true, and of course it is true, that my rizq is ordained, it is in the heavens and so on and so forth, then why should I work? Why should I make any effort? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said, وَاللَّيْسَ الْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. Allah said, for human being is only what he works for. So why should I work? We work to establish the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the earth. We work to earn Jannah. Because the place to earn Jannah is this world. So we earn here in the right way to earn Jannah. We spend what we have, we spend in the path of Allah to earn Jannah. That is the reason we work. We don't work to make money. We work to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We work to present the way of living Islam as a da'wat of Islam. We work to establish the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the face of the earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala permitted us to work. Allah said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha nudiya li salati min yawmil jum'ati fas'aw ila dhikrillahi wa zarul bay'. Dhalikum khairul lakum in kuntum ta'lamun. فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةُ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala permitted us to work and told us how to do that. Allah said, oh, you believe? When the call is proclaimed, when the adhan for the salat of Jumu'ah, when the call of salat on the day of Friday, Salatul Jumu'ah, is called, فَاسْعَوْا إِلَى ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Allah said, run towards the dhikr of Allah. Wazarul bay, leave your selling, right? Leave your business. Bay is to sell. And specifically Allah is saying selling because that's why we do business. We sell to make money, to make profit. Allah is saying leave that and rush towards the dhikr of Allah. Allah did not say saunter along, go stroll. No. Fas'aw ila dhikrillah. Wazarul bay, leave everything. Leave every other thing and go. ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. It is better for you if you did that, if only you knew. And then Allah said, and when the Jumu'ah Salat is finished, فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. You may disperse through the land and seek the bounty of Allah by working, trade, whatever. And remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a great deal that you may be successful. وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Allah is saying, when the salah is finished, then you may spread on the earth. Again, remember, for the salah, Allah said, leave everything and go to the salah. As far as the bounty of Allah is concerned, Allah did not say, leave the salah and go and search. No, Allah said, you may do that if you like. Fantashiru fil ard. If you feel like doing it, do it. And wabtahu, search for the bounty of Allah. Allah did not say create it. Allah did not say work for it. Allah did not say, make it yourself. No. Search. When you say search, what does it mean? It means it is already there. Just go look for it, pick it up. Look for it and pick it up. Search. We cannot search for something. If I tell you, if you're sitting here in your room now, I say search for diamonds. I don't know how many of you have diamonds lying around. Right? But if in my room, for example, if you tell me search for books, well, I've got a whole bunch of books behind me in my shelf. I can search for them because they're right here. So, Fantashiru fil ardi wabtahu min fadlillah means what? Spread in the earth. If you like to do that, do that. Permissible. It's not something which is compulsory. Permissible. And search for it because you are going to get what's already written for you. Go pick it up. Go pick it up. And while you are doing that, don't forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do a lot of zikr. In that there is success for you. Allah did not say there is success for you in searching for Rizq. It says success for you in the zikr of Allah. So definitely we are permitted to work, we are permitted to do business, we are permitted to search for the fadl of Allah, for the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we are told how to do that. Do that with the zikr of Allah, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constantly, and do that. Work, my brothers and sisters, we work so that the world will look at us and say, there goes a Muslim. Our life is better because he lives among us. We work so that when we are gone, it will be said, we regret his passing. He fought for our rights. He alleviated our suffering. He helped us in need. He gave us hope and He lighted our path. Work is Da'watul Islam. They will say, and we hope they will say, He challenged us to be the best that we could be by being a living example of the best that He could be. The world is a better place today because he or she walked the earth. Why do we work? We work to please Allah. We work because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has permitted us and in order to make our akhirah better. Final point which I want to mention to you and with an illustration. And remember, point we are making here is that the quantum of sustenance, the quantum of rizq is fixed. The way to obtain it has been given in our control. We can obtain it through permissible means or through prohibited means. We will get it. Haram or halal, we will get it. But we will have to answer. We will be asked about the way, not about the amount. Now imagine for yourself that you are standing in front of a warehouse which is made entirely of glass. Okay? Entirely of glass. And you will see I've drawn a little diagram to show you. So there is this warehouse which is made entirely of glass. You're standing in front of that warehouse and through the glass door you can see everything. And this warehouse has your whole rizq, for example. So this warehouse has your spouse, your family, your money, knowledge, your health, everything, whatever is in the nature of sustenance for you in this life is in this warehouse and you can see it. Imagine this. As the warehouse has two doors on either side. On one side the door is called halal and on the other side the door is called haram. Both the doors have sensors, and these sensors they have retina scanners. So when you stand in front of the door, the sensor looks at your eyes and the door opens for you. Now this is unique to you because our retina image is unique to us, and the door for me cannot be opened by anybody else. So imagine now that you are standing in front of the door which is marked haram, and because you're standing in front of the door is open. Now, as you're about to walk in through there, a good friend of yours who's seeing this, he calls out to you and says, stop. You stop. He says, look, whatever is in that warehouse is yours. Whatever. Just don't enter it from this door. Go to the other side. There is a door called halal, which works with the same technology, retina scan. That door will open for you. Enter that warehouse through the door marked halal. Do not enter it from the door marked haram. Right? Nothing is going to change. What is in the warehouse is in the warehouse. Whether you go from this door or that door makes no difference. Nothing will be more because you came from this door, or nothing will be less because you came from that door. Whichever door you go from, the quantity, the number of stuff, the number of things in the warehouse are the same. Just don't enter it from the door marked haram. Enter it from the door marked halal. This is your friend telling you. So now supposing you say to the friend, look, I am standing in front of this door is open. That door is shut. How do I know it will be open when I go there? Say, believe me. I am telling you this is what will happen. Because this is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the iman bil ghaib. So now when I turn around, the door shuts because sensor is not seeing my eyes. Now I panic. I say, oh my God, this door is shut. Now that is already shut. What will happen? I will get nothing. I will starve. I will die. This is our condition today. This is our condition today. What do we need to do? We need to believe that friend who called us. And who is that guide? That guide is Muhammadur Rasulullah. I don't say friend because I'm not equal to the Prophet. But there's no one who is a better friend of the Ummah than the Prophet ﷺ. He is telling us, just come around to this side. There is a door, and that door will open in the same way that this one opened for you. That one will open for you, and you go in, you get exactly the same things, and you are home and dry. You will actually be rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for coming through this door. But instead of that, if you insist on going through the door marked haram, you are going to be punished. Don't do that. Don't do that. My brothers and sisters, this is the bottom line. This is the bottom line. Right? There's nothing more or less than this. This is the bottom line. Just pick up. Just go from the right source. Take it from the right source. Nothing will change. You will not become poor. You will not become wealthy. What is written for you and me is written for you and me. That will not change. Just use the right source. I hope I've been clear in this. Finally, to close, the best advice Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us in Surah Taqabur, ayah number 16 and 17. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ وَاسْمَعُوا وَأَطِيعُوا وَأَنْفِقُوا خَيْرًا لِأَنفُسِكُمْ وَمَنْ يُوقَ شُحَّ نَفْسِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ إِن تُقْرِضُوا اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا يُضَاعِفْهُ لَكُمْ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ شَكُورٌ حَلِيمٌ. Allah said, so keep your duty, have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and keep that and have this taqwa as much as you can. Listen and obey, and spend in charity, and that is better for you. And whoever is saved from his own greed, then they are successful. If you lend to Allah a good loan, meaning if you spend in charity, He will double it, He will increase it for you. He will return it to you, and He will return more, and He will forgive you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ever ready, most ready to appreciate and to reward, and He is the most forgiving. Final reminder, rizq or sustenance is linked to deeds and behavior and the obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not to our fancy, clever schemes and effort. Material increase that comes through haram brings pain and suffering and fear and disgrace. Focus on deeds. Focus on pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of you and me. Allah said, Man amila saliham min dhakarin aw untha wa huwa mu'minun فَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبَةً وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Allah said in Surah An-Nahl 97, whoever works righteousness, whoever does good deeds, whether male or female, while he or she is a true believer, verily to him or her, we, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will give a good life in this world, hayatan tayyiba, beautiful life in this world, and we shall pay them certainly a reward in proportion to the best of what they used to do, which is Jannah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Jalla Jalaluhu to fill our hearts with His love, with love for Him, and with His khashiyah, with His awe and majesty and glory, and His taqwa, with the fear of displeasing Him, and to enable us to make the right choices and live our lives according to His will and the sunnah of His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that we will have a beautiful life in this dunya and Jannatul Firdaus in the Akhirah. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار لا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث أصلح لنا شأننا كله لا إله إلا أنت وصلى الله على نبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة